God aften og velkommen til den 11. time. Aftens program handler om at holde sig selv i hånden. Vores gæst er en amerikansk kvinde, født i 1929, bosat i New York. Hun har en Ph.D. fra Instituttet for Avancerede Studier af den menneskelige seksualitet i Californien. Og på trods af, at hun snart er 80 år gammel, så er hun langt mere udadvendt omkring menneskets seksualitet end for eksempel yngre generationer i et frigjort land som Danmark. Hun er inviteret her til landet af Danske Seksologers Forening, der værdsætter hendes livslange udforskning af menneskets seksualitet. Det er blandt andet dokumenteret i den her bog, der hedder Sex for One, med undertitlen The Joy of Self-Loving. Det er en bog, der er solgt i over 1 million eksemplarer, og derfor tilskrives hun også æren af at have lært amerikanske kvinder i 70'erne at masturbere. Og måske også derfor er hun mere kendt under sit alias, onaniens bedstemor. Welcome to the 11th hour.
Wonderful.
I couldn't help but noticing your belt.
Yes. I don't know, what is it?
What is it an eye?
Could be an eye, could be a mouth, could be a buddy hole, it could be a pussy. I sometimes think it's the third eye, which encompasses everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to Denmark.
I love it here.
Yeah. You know, we are the country who liberated pornography.
Thank you. Thank you. Now it's got to get better.
And we gave gays the right to marry.
How humanist.
But since then, nothing much has happened.
Oh, dear. The world is spinning backwards, but I see it as the last gasp before we become one happy world.
Yeah.
It's either that or we're going to...
Okay. I introduced you as the grandmother of masturbation.
It's getting close to great-grandmother.
Okay. How did that, you know, that's kind of a... How did that description
I know
come
it's not an easy title to walk around with, but back in the 70s, that's one of the... We had the, you know, the mother of now, the mother of the feminist movement. We were honoring mothers. So some smart ass said, "Oh, she can be the mother of masturbation." And I thought,
okay, the mother of masturbation.
The mother of masturbation, yeah.
And then time.
It stuck.
Yeah.
But I've done, you know, I mean, that's okay. I'm happy to be the mother, the grandmother, the great-grandmother, because really the mothers, if they all know it, or if they realize it, we have the power.
Yeah. You're born in Kansas, came to New York in 1950. This is a picture from 1952.
Yes, yes, yes. I was this sweet little thing from Kansas, and then I came to the big city, and I saw, ooh, all the makeup and jewels and fashion. But I wasn't a model. I was a fashion illustrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look great today. You looked great then.
I looked a little better then, but I'm hanging in there.
Yeah. Your interest in sexuality, how did that start out?
Well, it starts off about, you know, in utero, and then I was 2 years old, and I was probably playing with myself, and I actually have my first memory of masturbation when I was around 5. And it's a very clear memory. It's like a moment of consciousness, whatever. We were driving cross country from Wichita to California, and I was in the back seat of the car, and my 2 little brothers were asleep, and my mother was driving, and my big brother was sitting in the front seat with her. And I remember I liked to have a pillow between my legs, and I would rock on my pillow, and it would feel good, and that good feeling would be there, and all of a sudden it was like, ah, and it would go away.
But then, when did you become a professional?
Oh, you're going to move me right along.
Yeah.
But that's the first memory, and that's what we all have to think about, the first memory. Then as as I got involved with feminism, you know, it became clear from the consciousness-raising groups. But actually before that, when I had my erotic art exhibition, because I drew pictures of people having sex, people thought I was an expert. And the questions they were asking, they were heartbreaking. You know, you could see that nothing was happening for them. And by then, had gone to a lot of sex parties. I'd seen a lot of people having sex. I saw bad sex. I saw really good sex. And because I am a visual person and an artist, I learn through my eyes. I see. And I was looking around and I'm going, oh, that's great. Oh, that's no good. And, oh, look at them.
But so, before that, you were married, like, you know.
Oh, that was so sad. He was such a good-looking man, and he was making a very good salary. He had a lot of money.
Like me.
Are you a premature ejaculator? Well, Michael, you don't have to confess, but you know what I mean? That really hurts a girl's feeling. You're just getting in the mood, and all of a sudden, it's over.
Yeah.
And in those days, this is in 1959, you didn't talk about sex. I couldn't bring it up. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So when I talked to my therapist, she said, oh, Betty, don't worry. You'll make an adjustment. A marital adjustment is what they called it. So I thought, okay, I'm willing to make my marital adjustment. So first year, second year, no adjustment. Third year, no adjustment. So then and this is what happens to a lot of couples. When sex isn't good, you let it go. Now, here's the interesting thing. We were very good friends. We lived together very harmoniously. So I had a roommate, a very, very desirable roommate. And my sex life was sneaky, guilt-ridden, marital masturbation. That's sad. Why couldn't we do it together? Or why couldn't I do it openly? Or why couldn't we work on our sex problem? Why couldn't he learn to last longer? And why couldn't we do things other than intercourse? Why couldn't we do manual sex, oral sex?
So you ended up being separated?
I ended up being normal and then divorced.
Okay. And then you started working with art?
I was always doing the art.
But suddenly started writing?
The writing came after. I had several exhibitions, and then I realized that I needed words to communicate to women how to have an orgasm. And because this information wasn't available, my post-marital lover, Grant, who is currently my webmaster, he's 85 now, and when it's good, you don't turn him loose. Now, we've never lived together. I think that helped me. So he was saying, this has never been done before. You're not going to find a book that's going to tell you how to teach women about orgasm. Use your own history. How did you become orgasmic? How did you change your life? And I'm going, using myself as an example, and then this coincides with the women's movement that says, speak in first person.
So you write an article?
I wrote an article for Ms. Magazine. They finally said, it was 71, they said, we would like an article on masturbation. I went, whoa, yay, the women's movement. We're going to be sex positive.
Who did the illustration?
Oh, I did the drawing, yeah. And by then, because of the sex parties, we discovered electric vibrators. Yeah. Vibrators are great.
That's why you look so young still.
I think so,
yeah.
Yes, I do believe. That's a big part of it.
And this article became a book. How?
Okay, 18-page article. They cut it down to two pages, like for the magazine. And at the end of the magazine, it said, anyone interested in receiving the full 18-page article, send $3 to Ms. Magazine, because at the time I was bi-coastal. Sometimes I was in San Francisco, sometimes I was in New York. So I thought, okay, I'll take the 18-page article. And in those days, you mimeographed. You run it through this machine, chonk, chonk. And I said, so I'll get 100, 200, thousands of women wrote in. And in each one was a little $3 check. And I went, I've got to do a book.
Yeah. So there was no book, but...
There was the pamphlet, yeah, there was no book. So I did one. I did a book in 3 months. I wrote it, illustrated it. I got my girlfriends in San Francisco to come pose. I did their pussy portraits, and that was the centerfold. And I thought, I know I'm not a good writer, but I've got the information. And the drawings, the 15 female genital drawings, was the main message. Look, they're all beautiful. They're all different. So don't worry about how you look. Understand that there's this, our faces are all different.
Did you have a problem about how you look?
Yes. I thought I was genitally deformed until I was 35 years old. That's a sexual handicap. It was sad. So that's my first post-marital lover, Grant, who's my current webmaster. That I tried to get rid of him years and years and years and years and years, but I just, he said, I would like to look at your pussy. And I went, Gah. And he reached over, turned on the light, and picked up his glasses. And I said, no, I'd rather you wouldn't. No. And then I was just, it was so upsetting. And he said, honey, what is the matter? And I said, I'm genitally deformed from too much childhood masturbation. Can you believe this? I'm 35 years old. I have been living in New York all those years. I am a sophisticated New Yorker. I'm an educated woman. I'm a talented, gifted artist, and I think I'm genitally deformed at 35. So, click. If that happens to me, I wonder how many other women have this problem. And I found out that it was quite universal. Mm-hmm. So that's using your own experience to determine or figure out what's going on in the culture, in the society.
People begin to know you from your workshops in the 70s. Mm-hmm. You do workshops at home?
I always worked out of my home. One of the smartest business principles that I ever came across was keep a low overhead. Yeah. If you have a low overhead, you're independent. If everything costs a lot of money, then you're going to have a sponsor, you're going to have somebody behind you, and I've discovered that then you have censorship.
You've done one-on-one sessions with, Hollywood stars, people from all over society, but it starts out in the 70s at home.
With the group.
Can you describe, a workshop?
Yeah. When it first happened, it was outrageous because during my marriage, I was married for 7 years, and then we break up, and then I'm going, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? I already had an art studio on 29th Street, so I thought I'm going to run groups, and I called it physical and sexual consciousness raising groups, because in those days the feminist movement we were doing consciousness raising, which we cut short to CR. And women would get together and sit in a circle, and we would talk about what we were experiencing. And that was the concept that the personal is political. You're not floating alone out there in the ozone. What's happening to me is happening to other women. And that's how I started to put things together. So I thought, okay, I'm going to bring a group of women together, and we're going to sit and we're going to talk about how we feel about our bodies and how we feel about our orgasms. And by the time we went around this circle, we're all going, you too? Oh, me too.
So you're in a circle?
Yep. We're nude. Now.
Okay, you're nude.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. Everyone said, don't start the workshops in the nude. Women won't do that. Now, the men know how hard it is to get a woman out of her clothes. And I had thrown some sex parties in the 60s. And if you don't start off nude, you'll sit and talk and eat and smoke and drink until the 11th hour, and no one's having sex. So I thought, okay, I'm not doing that one. So I have a long foyer, and I had a lot of silver hooks, and they came in through the door. I answered the door nude. Hi, come in. So here I am already nude. Hang your clothes up. They didn't have time to think about it. I caught them off guard. And so now, and I said, yeah. But they knew in advance that this was a nude workshop. They just thought they were going to get to take a little time.
Okay. So when you're in the circle, what happens next?
we go around the circle and we ask how, you know, we share how we feel about our bodies and our orgasms. That takes most of the first day. And at the end of the first day, I did a ritual that I called genital show and tell. So I sat down and I had a mirror, and the mirror, and first I went and I talked about my fear of genital deformity from childhood masturbation.
Just did, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then the woman would volunteer, and she'd come sit next to me, and we would look in the same mirror together. And she would say, you know, I've never really looked before. Oh, well, and bright light, everything. And the other women gather around, and she goes, you know, I would see, oh, you have an Art Deco pussy. Look at the lines, this beautiful shape. Lots of drapery. Oh, here we have a Renaissance. We have a Baroque pussy. So I started to name them architectural styles, so they have something to relate to. And I always pointed out from an artistic point of view, because that's my grounding, how pretty, how beautiful. Look at the color. The colors are gorgeous.
So you talk, but you don't start masturbating in the circle?
Oh, no, not the first day.
Okay.
No, this is my idea of foreplay. And after everybody has looked at everybody else, the forbidden area is now a social fact of life. The bonding, the female bonding, is powerful. And the group I did here in Denmark, every woman commented on it. Oh, what an experience. It's so healing, and there's just so much sisterhood. That really is sisterhood. That's what we needed. And then the second day they come back and they know exactly what we're going to do. We go around the circle again. What happened? I went home. I had fabulous sex with my husband. I took my boyfriend out to dinner, whatever. And then after we've gone around the circle, this is a shorter length of time, then we did a masturbation ritual, which is everybody has a vibrator plugged in. Everybody has massage oil. Everybody has the vaginal barbell for the dildo and the pelvic floor muscle. And I would start the group with everyone standing up, because I found in the beginning groups, everybody would lay down, close their eyes, and use the vibrator and masturbate, and you could just hear. You could hear sounds. And I said, no, I want people to see. So once I started having the groups stand up. Now, this is like a work in progress. It wasn't that way the first day or the first workshop. I would say it took me about a year to put the elements together. And I was listening to what the women were saying. I didn't make this up out of whole cloth. One time, one of the women, I said at one of the workshops, I said, I have a fantasy that one day we'll all masturbate in a circle and we'll levitate the whole building, and everybody, you know, in the building, you know, and the guys in the one, you know, all the elevator men and the doormen, they'll all get this sexual energy, and they'll go, what is this? What is this? I don't know, but I got to go masturbate. And it was like, you know, the energy. So and one of the women said, well, let's do it now. And I'm going, I'm not ready. Oh, now? How can I, what is this? I don't think. And so my assistant at the time, Sheila, she said, great, let's do it now. She brings out a box of vibrators, and everybody takes one. We plug them in, you know. So here's how it evolved. It's an evolution. And from then on, that was part of the workshop.
And I think this has evolved and been a phenomenon all over the world today.
It's spreading.
You know, you have these dildo parties.
The sex parties, yeah, sex toy parties.
But also kind of Tupperware dildo...
We call it fuckerware.
Okay. But you helped women to liberate... but how come still today, 35 years later than the 70s, there's still a lot of taboos about, you know, eroticism?
Each generation has to rediscover the wheel, because in order for sex to become healthy and to stay healthy and to grow more healthy, we need to educate our young children, and they're not getting it. And then religion steps in, and they exert their control, and our first sexual message comes from our parents. Now, if you've got hip parents, cool. But if you've got prohibition and prohibitive and, oh, don't you do that, you know, that's naughty, don't do that. So there you have it, the repression sets in.
You know, the English poet William Blake, it seems to me, you know, there's a quote from him that says, the road of excess leads to the Palace of Wisdom.
Yes, I didn't know it was to the palace until you told me.
It seems like you've been living your life, you know, according to these
excess.
words.
Absolutely.
So you found the palace?
I've been in it quite some time. This is what the palace looks like, and you go there as soon as you can.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, I'm nearly 80, and I've never enjoyed life more. So if you hold the image of old age as like, you know, but if it's been a hard life, that's what it is. It shows. And of course, I broke all the rules. I had a short marriage. I decided I didn't want to have children. I wanted to devote my life to my art, which I have done. And I think that there are people that want to do this. They want to devote their life.
And today you have a 47-year younger boyfriend?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get a younger one now. Well, we've been together. We're in our 9th year. It's like, oh, no, he's adorable. I love him. Hi, Eric. I love you, darling. Yes, yes. But he has to now go and live his life. I can't own him.
Yeah. You met our driver, Morten.
Oh, Morten's adorable.
He drove you here.
Yes.
Yeah. Besides being a driver, he's also a fantastic poet. He's an artist. And you know, just come on in, Morten. I'd like you know, because we prepared a little gift for you.
Morten,
Hi, Morten. Hi.
you didn't tell me, darling. You did.
Good evening, Betty. Pleasure to meet you.
That hat is like, you know, the hats they had on trains.
Yes,
in the
I
old...
recognize it.
Yeah. Isn't it a kind of a train?
Yeah, that's for the employees from the old trains. It's from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
My uncle worked on the railroad.
Oh.
Okay. The reason I brought Morten here is, you know, the American poet Walt Whitman.
Heard the name, haven't read much of the poetry.
He was a homosexual. And,
Good.
And I have a picture of him here.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Yeah. In 1855, he published the classic book Leaves of Grass. And he wrote about the joy of the erotic, also between men. And people were shocked at that time. But he wanted to liberate the ordinary man from
Absolutely.
His change.
Look at that great face.
Yeah. And what we're doing now is Morten, you know, he's like a jukebox, you know. He can recite Dylan Thomas, and now you'll do a part of a poem of Walt Whitman.
Yes, I'll try.
And what's the title?
The title is from the book Leaves of Grass. The title is Song of Myself.
Fond of myself.
Song.
Song.
Of myself.
Of myself.
Yes.
That's good.
So you did the 6 for 1.
Yeah.
Walt Whitman did the Song of Myself.
Of myself.
Yes.
I didn't know I had a brother.
No, but it's very much in the spirit
Got
of
it.
liberation and just from the male point of view.
Got it.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see if I can speak the voice of Walt Whitman. All right. I celebrate myself and sing myself. And what I assume, you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. My tongue, every atom of my blood, formed from this soil, this air, born here of parents born here, from parents the same, and their parents the same. I, now 37 years old, in perfect health begin, hoping to cease not till death. Creeds and schools in abeyance, retiring back a while, suffice that what they are but never forgotten, I harbor for good or bad. I permit to speak at every hazard. Nature without check, with original energy. Houses and rooms are full of perfumes. The shelves are crowded with perfumes. I breathe the fragrance myself and know it and like it. The distillation would intoxicate me also, but I shall not let it. The atmosphere is not a perfume. It has no taste of the distillation. It is odorless. It is for my mouth forever. I am in love with it. I will go to the bank by the wood and become undisguised and naked. I am mad for it to be in contact with me. The smoke of my own breath echoes, ripples, bust whispers, love root, silk thread, crutch and vine. My respiration and inspiration, the beating of my heart, the passing of blood and air through my lungs, the sniff of green leaves and dry leaves, and of the shore and dark-colored sea rocks, and of hay in the barn. The sound of the belched words of my voice loosed to the eddies of the wind, a few light kisses, a few embraces, a reaching around of arms, the play of shine and shade on the trees as the supple boughs wag, the delight alone, or in the rush of the streets, or along the fields and hillsides, the feeling of health, the full noon trill, the song of me rising from bed and meeting the sun.
I sing the body electric.
Yeah.
Thanks, Morten. It was
Morten,
great.
Thank you.
I love you.
That's for you, Betty.
Oh, I knew he was special the minute I saw him.
Okay,
I did. I did indeed. Thank
he
you.
is. You know, at the end of the show, we have a thing where the guest wishes...
This isn't the end, is it?
It is. But we can do something for our website.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
the ones with the drawings of
Okay.
the
The vulvas.
yeah.
It's difficult to get a name for them.
Yeah.
Women can't decide what to call them.
No. Could you say good night to our viewers, or just feel free? You can do it in this camera.
Yes, yes. I absolutely love and adore this city and the people in it, and the workshop I did with the Danish women was absolutely brilliant. Their energy and the love and their sisterhood was extraordinary. And now that you've watched this show with these beautiful men, I hope that you have an orgasm before you go to sleep. Mwah! I love you all. Thank you. Thank you.
No, but we could do something. If you could just do a little thing on the drawings, we could put it on the
Whatever
website.
you want, just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
So we'll put it on the website. Just.